Racing takes place on Saturday out at Turffontein. We are racing on the Standside track, the 5th of August 2023. We've got 8 races on the program, and race number 1 is set to get underway at 12 over the 1,000 meter trip. It will also be the start of the bipod. And joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. Alistair, how's things going your side?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Raheel, as we continue with what's been quite a busy week for me, but looking forward to it all. This meeting on Saturday, I must confess, on first glance, I was a little bit disappointed with it, but when I went through it and started studying the form, I had more and more time for this race meeting. So, all is good on my side. Obviously, the start of a new season, and generally August and September are pretty quiet months before the features start in Joburg in early October with the Spring Challenge, etc. But I think we're going to be in for a good season, especially with Hollywood's incentive for if any jockey breaks Anthony Del Pesce's record. And I think there's some very promising now turned 3-year-olds around that could be worth watching around the country. So I think we're in for a good season here, Raheel.
Yeah, most definitely. Probably the 3-year-olds are the ones to follow as we edge into the season. And race number 1 out at Turffontein on Saturday. Now, our favourite is Chocolate Bomb at 56 to 100. We'll call it 5 to 10. It's 9 to 2 about Daring Act, and it's 8 to 1 and better bar those. Now, obviously, Chocolate Bomb ran way above expectations on debut, 16 to 1 in the market, and ran a cracker behind Wings Within Me. Obviously, it was the first timers that dominated that race. Is he a good thing in this event, given the lack of form, or could Daring Act possibly be the one to challenge him the most?
Well, I called Daring Act's penultimate start, and it was a good run behind Ampersand, but then followed up with a very average run behind New Mexico. I actually think Ampersand's a reasonable horse, so I'm in a bit of a quandary with number 1 Daring Act. I think number 3 Chocolate Bomb can only improve. As you say, was a surprise on debut and running less than a length behind Wings Within Me, and had Chocolate Bomb probably been a run more experienced, probably would have won that race. What worries me though is that Strewn Sky, who was expected to go well at the VAR on Tuesday, ran no sort of race out of the form, so I have serious question marks about the level of that race. But with that said, at least number 3 Chocolate Bomb put up a good performance and can step forward with that run under the belt. So probably fairly priced up at the top of the boards. I'd be prepared to banker him in the buy pot, number 3 Chocolate Bomb, but I would watch the market on the other first-timers from the yard. I know nothing about Presley. I know nothing about Lovegrass. Lovegrass makes appeal on pedigree, being a daughter of Give Me the Green Lights out of a stakes-winning mare, Eros' Girl, but clearly no interest in the market just yet. So I'm defaulting to number 3 Chocolate Bomb, but obviously punters have an advantage there being race number 1 on the card. They can monitor the market before structuring their buy pots. Right now, banker number 3, but if there's money for one of the stable companions, put that in as well.
Yeah, horse number 3, Chocolate Bomb, worthy favourite in race number 1, and with natural progression should certainly be the one to beat. We'll move along to race number 2, the start of the place accumulator over 1,800 metres, and this is a maiden plate that jumps at 12.55. Fushimi Inari at 12 to 10 is 22 to 10 about Man's Night, 4 to 1. Brotherhood of Magic, 7 to 1. And better bar those. And Alistair, I think this horse is going to take a power of beating Fushimi Inari. Cheek pieces go on, got a good draw, Gavin aboard. And when we have a look at his last form line, obviously Hotter Ruby was entered to run in a Group 1 this past weekend, and Copper John coming through to win as well. So just based on what he's produced to date, I think he should be very, very hard to beat in this event.
I agree. I think he's an absolute place accumulator in Bapa Bank, number 5 Fushimi Inari. I'll be blown away if he doesn't run in the first 2. In fact, I'd even venture to say I'll be blown. I think that he's coming along the right way. I actually spoke to Stuart Pettigrew before his first run, and he said not ready yet, but he's going to run nicely enough, and he's going to step up, and he's going to improve and develop into a nice horse. So he's pretty much bang on with that assessment. I think that he's due to win. Last time there was actually an objection against him, 3rd against 2nd, but that was a bit of a crazy objection that got thrown out pretty quickly. Gavin Larina stays on board the side of Danon Platina. He's a very, very hard horse to beat. 1 Month's Nights has had too many chances for me, so I can't recommend an improving horse that's going to get the better of Month's Nights, who remains an entire. Don't know if they want to breed with him. He is obviously a brother to Mel Moose. But number 7 in Valero, I think, can chase number 5 for Fushimi Inari. I expected him to improve last time. He had the worst of the draws, drawn 11 out of 11. He's bred to get a tripping out of the family of Illabella and Illa de Vittoria, etc. So I expect him to maintain that improvement. But I think Fushimi Inari is just well teed up. Very, very hard horse to beat. I'll take boxed exactus here, 5 and 7.
Yeah, all in here with horse number 5, Fushimi Inari, in race number 2 on the program. Next up, race number 3, maiden plate for the fillies and mares over the 1,000 meter trip. And scratched early on is number 1, Empress Game, which leaves the door wide open for a number of these horses to get it right. It's not the type of race where I think you can be too confident on any individual. What a Lucy, possibly a bit of support, if not deductions, but she's the top of the boards at 22 to 10. She's related to Lucy English, who did win 3 times over 1,000 meters, and if she's any good, she should take a power beating on debut, because the form that these runners represent isn't the strongest, Alistair.
Yeah, problem race this indeed, Ricky. And obviously the money about number 11, What's a Lucy, makes you take a bit of notice. You mentioned the family. I remember the mother as well. She was trained by Lucky Hoodalakis, and she was actually a great story. Punted off the boards on debut in a work riders race, and either Philip or Bongani Malangeni, they both worked for Lucky Hoodalakis, and her Lucy absolutely trotted up. She was a 1,000 meter specialist. She ran in the colours of Heinrich Bricks. And then obviously you mentioned Lucy English. She's got a couple of breathing problems, so that's why she's limited to being a 1,000 meter horse. And here we have What a Lucy. Lucky's not afraid to line them up first time out. They do improve with the run under the belt. I normally hear from Lucky, probably a little bit too early to hear anything about this filly's chances, but I'm sure before race time I'll have a bit of info I am presenting at the meeting. So, and obviously being a first timer in the first leg of the pick 6, that can play into your advantage. So my initial numbers before the market spoke volumes were 2, 4, 5 and 6. Number 2, Wilkies, has put up 2 very good runs, albeit in weak races, but at least she's got form to suggest that a win's not too far away. Asandiwe Goodwood takes her out for St. John Grey. 4C Veloce, I've got a bit of time for back over 1,000 meters. I know that she ran over 1,200 last penultimate start. That was a good run behind Platina Princess, but she showed a lot of pace, and I think coming back to a quick 1,000 meters might help her along. I'm not going to give up hope on number 5, White Hills, just yet. I thought she'd run well coming back from a break last time behind Mika's Bomb. It's a very, very quiet form line, but I still think there's something there, and I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she needed her last run. Number 5, White Hills, and number 6, Contra Fiska, put up a better run last time. I don't think she's the most reliable. The fact that the Aussies have thrown all sorts of equipment at this daughter of Patala Palace already, I think tells you what you need to know. But it might be a matter of trial and error that clicks one of these days with number 6, Contra Fiscum. So those are the 4 race runners that I've got in. I'm confident that if a first timer wins, that we'll certainly get one of them running as the first race runner home. I'll be surprised if anything else that's had experience gets into the mix. So 2, 4, 5 and 6, but the money on number 11, What a Lucy, I don't think you have to think very hard if you want to put her into the pick 6 and have a go at her, especially if the talk is right.
Yeah, it's a tricky start to the pick 6, but as you heard from Alistair, if the market does speak volumes about number 11, What a Lucy, come close to Teresa, and then she could possibly be the right horse in the race. But 2, 4, 5 and 6, the numbers that you could include into a race number 3, leg number 1 after pick 6. Next up, race number 4, which is an MR 96 handicap over 1,600 meters, and it's actually quite a nice race, this event. Atticus Finch, your early favorite, from around 33 to 10 has been supported into 22 to 10. Tazona at 3 to 1, 7 to 2 Stratospheric, 7 to 1 about Besuye, it's 8 to 1 and better bar those. Now last time out, obviously you mentioned Atticus Finch, a horse that you're going to follow. You kept him on the safe side last time out, and he obviously won quite a nice race, and he's only going to get better throughout the season. He's now having his second run after a layoff. Gavin Larina aboard, and he's cracked a good draw, and he could possibly confirm the form with all the horses that he had behind him last time out.
Yeah, Raheel, I made no bones about the fact that I really, really rate this horse quite highly, number 2, Atticus Finch, and he came back from a 6-month layoff and played with Tazona last time, who he reopposes. There's every reason to believe that he's going to take a big step forward with that run under the belt and not needing it as badly. But I've kicked for touch here. I know the money's for number 2, Atticus Finch. I'm a huge fan of his. I think that he's listed grade 3 material at worst, and if I believe that, then he ought to be winning a race of this nature. But like I said, just kicking for touch, I've gone in with a few horses horses. Number 1, Stratospheric, I think is going to be a force coming back to Turffontein. Even though he's won at the Val before, beating Crimson King in a graduation plate, I think he's a little bit better back at home. And the fact that stable jockey Craig Zaki takes the ride, I have a little bit more respect for number 1, Stratospheric, than I probably ordinarily would. Number 3, Tizona, strictly at the weights, has to go close to Atticus Finch, so he goes in there as well. The points have actually gone with a lot of horses. 5, Global Impact interests me. I think he's the wrong price. Dennis Schwarz takes a ride for Paul Natchett. He was obviously outgunned in the Cup trial at his penultimate start, getting a kilo and a half from Winchester Mansion. And obviously Winchester Mansion franked that form in no uncertain terms by winning the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. And last time behind Sir Yaverman, I think Sir Yaverman's just improved hand over fist. So, Global Impact wasn't disgraced on that occasion. I like what I saw from Tamarisk Tree last time in running second to Scallywag. This is a bit of a step up in class, but gets less weight on his back. He's got a dicey draw. I've spoken to Robbie Sage about Tamarisk Tree after that last run, and he said he's tearing his hair out with this horse because he believes that there's a good horse in there somewhere, and just frustrated that he hasn't been able to win for nearly a year. So I'm going to keep on the right side of him. Number 8, Base Yay, although I think better on the inside track, ran a good race during the week at the Val, so he's in good heart. The yard's flying. And number 9, Cotinos, nearly turned over Sir Yaverman last time out. So I think all these horses warrant some respect. So I've gone with a lot of horses in my pick 6 against my better judgment. Who's the best horse in the race? Well, right now, according to the merit rating, is a Stratospheric, but I think Atticus Finch is going to end up being rated much, much higher than any of these horses. So he is my top choice. It's also a sentimental choice because of what I think of the horse, but when you actually look at it a bit deeper, it's not going to be one-way traffic.
Yeah, number of horses in with chances here in race number 4. But if you're strong in a specific individual, then maybe you could take a stance and go with that individual. But Atticus Finch would be the top selection for Alistair and myself in the 4th race on the program. Moving along to race number 5, a Fillies and Mares 81 handicap over 1,800 meters. Now, this is a terribly weak contest, even though it's at the 81 level. Quasi's Lady 6-10, 11-2 Queen Bomey, 6-1 in Better Bar. Those. Alistair, Quasi's Lady, she's in the form of her life, looking for 4 in a row. She's got a deep draw to negotiate, but she does have the best form. And Siando Sosibo, he should have a plan from the draw. And I mean, this mare rather, she should surely get the job done. If there is one to beat her, I thought it could be number 7, Queen Bomey, who is under sufferance though, but she's cracked a good draw of gate number 2, and she has run well over course and distance.
You've hit the nail on the head here, Raheel. I think Quasi's Lady very hard to beat, and if anything beats her, it would be number 7, Queen Bomey. I can't have anything else in the race, but I'm banking number 1, Quasi's Lady, for a number of factors. First of all, even though life's getting harder and she's looking for 4 wins on the spin, her rating's only gone up 4 pounds for her last win, beating Opera Glass in what I thought was probably a little bit easier than the margin suggested. I think Alec Laird getting Sianda Sosibo to take the 2.5 kilos off the back is probably wise. So she's effectively racing off a similar rating than what she won off last time. Obviously, you get the inexperienced apprentice on board, but Sianda's riding as winners at the moment. And there's just nothing else that makes appeal. More than half the field is under sufferance, even though her biggest danger is one of those on the 4, number 7, Queen Bomey, who I liked last time and ran a little bit disappointingly behind Princess Keshu, who ran a fair race on Tuesday but didn't win, didn't trouble the winner either. So I think all points to number 1, Quasi's Lady. As you say, in the form of her life, since she's gone over more than a mile, she's become a totally different horse, and I expect her to keep the winning trend available. So a very hard horse to beat and a banker in all bets.
Yeah, all in here, horse number 1, Quasi's Lady, in race number 5. Next up, race number 6, which is the Pinnacle Stakes over the 1,000 meters, and it's a competitive event that jumps at 3:15. Captain Hindsight, your 2-1 favorite. 33-10 about Mercantor, 7-2 Flower Bomb. It's in 11-2. And Better Bar. Those. Alistair, your thoughts on race number 6? It's a race where quite a few horses seem to have lively chances here.
An interesting race, this Raheel. Probably the race of the day. In fact, definitely the race of the day. Mercantor, on first glance, I thought was very, very hard horse to beat. On every line of form, on the run on the 1st of June, Mercantor's got Godswood, Mover and Shaker, Roll with the Punches and Winter Stories, Stone Cold for finishing in front of them. And on the run on the 2nd of July, the day after the July, finished in front of Roll with the Punches and Godswood, and again has them all absolutely stone cold here for finishing in front of them. So number 1, Mercantor, was my knee-jerk reaction. But I hope I haven't overcomplicated this, but the more I thought about this race, I thought number 2, Roll with the Punches, although held on a fast track over 1,000 meters, can be a real weapon. He's likely to go off to the front. He could very well stay there. The track conditions being as hard as they are going to sit the son of active war, so I put him in. And I didn't initially like number 8, Captain Hindsight, because I thought 1,000 meters would be far too sharp. But when you actually go into the records, 4 of his 8 career wins have come over 1,000 meters, and he shows good pace, shows enough pace, might not have the precociousness that he had early doors, but he's in such good form at the moment, number 8, Captain Hindsight, that I'd loathe to go out in this leg of the pick 6 with a horse that has won 4 times over 1,000 meters. Hence, me recommending putting him into the play. Do I think he's as good a sprinter as Mercantor and Roll with the Punches? No, but with 52 kilos on his back, he could be a factor and complete a hat-trick as well. So, again, I've just cast my net probably 1 horse wider with number 8, Captain Hindsight, but I do think number 1, Mercantor, on all conceivable form, is going to be a hard horse to beat.
Yeah, it certainly does look to be that way about horse number 1, Mercantor. Digger, he gets on well with this horse, and they could certainly team up for yet another victory. But Roll with the Punches and Captain Hindsight, 2 horses that Alistair is going to back Mercantor up with in race number 6. We move along to race number 7, which is a merit-rated 82 handicap over 1,100 meters, a penultimate race on the day. Power Broker, your 4-1 favorite. It's 9-2 about Black Egret, 5-1 Covert Operator, 6-1 about Munchkin, Siberian Steel, 7-1 and Better Bar. Those now 1,100 meters, Munchkin. I think it could just be on the sharper side for him, even though he's won over 1160. But I'll be with him having his 3rd run after layoff. He's a horse that obviously he's probably a horse that hasn't delivered as much as they would have thought. But I think he could run a nice race here.
Yeah, a very, very complex race this indeed, Raheel. Number 3, Munchkin has burnt me last time out when finishing at 3.5 lengths to Captain Dizzy. Caden Bruin now takes a ride for Lucky Hoodalakas. After chatting to Craig Zanke after his penultimate start, he said the horse just needed that run and needs a bit further. And he got that run last time and got further. And again, flat to deceive. I think you're right. He's under-delivered a little bit, number 3, Munchkin. But I'm still going to be on the side of him to an extent. Am I bankering him? Absolutely not. But just the fact that he's held in the regard that he is, I'd still give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit longer. So number 3, Munchkin is in. 1, Black Egret, I think has got to have a huge chance. Raymond Danielson takes a ride. Since he's got well-documented breathing problems, number 1, Black Egret. Hence, he's probably limited to being a sprinter for eternity. But he holds his form. He runs above himself all the time. I loved his last run to Covert Operator, who he meets again. I think he'll turn that form around. That's got to be a big player, number 1, Black Egret. Number 2, Power Broker also goes in. He's banging at the door. I loved his penultimate start when coming off a layoff, finishing 2nd to Captain Hindsight, a form run that's been franked. Last time out, he just kind of got run off his feet, or not run off his feet, outrun rather in the closing stages by Back in Business. So number 2, Power Broker, dropping 100 meters, got to go in as well. But the race might end up working out best for number 6, Iron Sky, funny enough, Raheel. I thought that he was exposed a little bit too early last time when Little Miss Moneybags got the better of him. You got to ride him like a thief. You can't show him daylight too early. And with all the pace that's around him, he might end up being well teed up here. He's back 9 days later, so fitness absolutely no issue. He's become a consistent horse despite not being the most reliable around. So number 6, Iron Sky, just the way that I see the race running, could end up being in the right place at the right time. So don't leave him out. 1, 2, 3, and 6, I think the likely winners here. And just leave it bracketed for number 5, Covert Operator as well. I've left him out because it's got a bit to do with the weights, but he's not got his legs tied up.
Yeah, Iron Sky, he seemed to be an absolute brass in his maidens, but he's obviously turned the corner, this individual, and he's loving life now. 2-time winner from 14 outings. Alistair, just quickly, Captain Hindsight, just say if Captain Hindsight were to win, would that obviously give you more confidence about number 2, Power Broker?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go in, with a lack of confidence with anything that Tony Peter's got at the moment. But yes, if Captain Hindsight does win, that makes Power Broker look even more appealing here. But this is the race that I'm most worried about on the card, I must be honest.
Very, very competitive race, and a race where you could possibly even throw in the field here, the field of 11 runners, and you could possibly get a result that could play into your favour. Race number 8, the last race on the day. It's a merit rated 72 handicap over 1160 metres, average rating of a 64. It's a field of 8 runners that go to post. And Tuscan Gold, well, he's making his belated debut here in the up in the Highveld. He was obviously set to run, I think, a month or so ago, and he was unfortunately scratched. But I think he'll win if he's ready after that break. I actually believe that he'll win, Alistair. He's taken on much stronger. He's horses like Porke Tavas, She's My Captain, Jury Duty, all horses that continue to win down in the Cape. And I think this horse brings the right credentials into the race, especially on the mark of 67.
Yeah, I hope the signal's a little bit better just outside Fairview. I was talking about number 5 Tuscan Gold to some learned guys at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Thursday, because I think everyone picked up on the fact that he was running, and the overall consensus was this horse was ready to win in Cape Town, and if he's now gone to a yard that gets them to improve hand over fist, ready to win in Cape Town on a track that's likely to suit running in a straight line at Turffontein, this horse is going to be very hard to beat. He's my second banker in the pick 6. Remember, he won early doors. He won at a big price under Cabello Mazziniani at 25 to 1. But as you mentioned, he kept some pretty good form. The penultimate start to Porke Tavas was franked at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Thursday as well. There's a lot to like about number 5 Tuscan Gold. And as mentioned, even if this race was in Cape Town, I think Tuscan Gold would be an automatic entry and very, very close to the top of the boards. Number 2, Fully Loaded, I have a bit of respect for, but I just think, as we see time and time again, that Cape form, especially at this level, is deadly. And number 5, Tuscan Gold, for me, the second banker in all bets on the card.
Yeah, all in here with our horse number 5 Tuscan Gold in the final race on the day. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now, and Alistair's suggested bet is a pick 6, which gets underway in race number 3 at 1:30 over the 1,000 meter trip. So Alistair, take it away with your pick 6 on the day.
Yeah, well, there are a number of reasons why I've gone with a pick 6, no less 2 bankers, and also the fact standalone Saturday card, no Springbok rugby going on at the same time, Premier League a week away, so I think the pools and I think the viewership is going to be up for this card, so I think take advantage of what's likely to be a big pool. First leg, as you mentioned, the time, race number 3, 2, 4, 5 and 6, Wilkie, C. Veloce, White Hills and Contra Fiscum, but there's every chance that neither of them will win in the first time or will, so, just going with a few there, hoping that a race runner, one of those race runners, is the first race runner home. Second leg, 1 Stratospheric, 2 Atticus Finch, 3 Tizona, 5 Global Impact at a price, 6 Tamarisk Tree, 8 Bay Saye and 9 Cotinos are all in. Then the third leg, which is race number 5, I've gone banker number 1, Quasi's Lady, very hard horse to beat. Race number 6, race of the day, 1 Mercantile, 2 Roll with the Punches and 8 Captain Hindsight. Race 7, the race I'm most worried about, 1 Black Egret, 2 Power Broker, 3 Munchkin and 6 Iron Sky, but bracketed with number 5 COVID Operator. Don't leave that out if you can afford it. And then finally, banker number 5 Tuscan Gold, and I think we're going to give punters a very, very good bang for their buck on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we've managed to guide the guys in the right direction, and it can be a profitable day's racing out at Turffontein on Saturday. Alistair, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and enjoy the call out at PE today.
Yep, thanks, Raheel. Well, timing was great. Got hold of me as I got into MX's Uber and arriving at Fairview right now. So perfect timing. Well played.
Absolutely. Thanks very much to Alistair Cohen for his time and his insight with racing out at Turffontein on Saturday. All the best, guys. Hopefully it's a good one for you.